Everyone. I'm just sitting here. I mean, usually I like to get up and sit at the table and do a video, but man, I just can't get myself moving today. But so I thought I'd just sit here in my chair and where I do some of my shorts. But I wanted to talk today about how they're talking about how the middle class is going away and that the middle class is what um, run expect. How do I want to say it? Um, it's basically the crutch of our community. Well, I'm thinking, no, I have to beg everybody's difference. I know, yeah, the middle class spends a lot more money and stuff like that, but I don't believe that the middle class are the ones that hold our communities together. I think, because there's more to the money aspect of it to hold a community together. There's more to it than money. There's more to it than putting it into the economy and stuff like that. Like say for instance, okay, I don't work. I used to work, but even when I worked, I wasn't making enough money to, according to society, to be middle class. But there's more to being middle class than, like I said, than money. It's your attitude, it's your stature, it's how your morals and your beliefs, and the willingness to work hard and put yourself out there and help others and push yourself forward to be the best that you can be. And and to me, it's the blue collar workers. I mean, there are blue collar workers out there that make lots of money, but they still have that, to me, and blue collar workers still have that inward um, and that persona about them that really truly makes them middle class. Because there's a lot of people out there they call middle class that are right down rascals. They'll do whatever they want to do as far as cheating people and stuff like that. There's no integrity in them. There's no um, giving. There's no empathy towards other people. They just work for themselves and do whatever they need to do for themselves and forget everybody else. Now, I can do without those kind of so-called middle class people, but to me, the crutch of the whole society are people that make far less than um, even the blue collar workers. There's them, sort of like us retirees that we're getting our pensions, and but we worked hard in the past and we stuck to the grind and we pushed forward. And now there's the blue collar workers that are doing the same thing. And of course, then you've got some the blue collar workers that, like I said, that are into the so-called class of middle class, but they're no, I wouldn't call them middle class people. So the crutch of society to me is the blue collar workers that take care of their families the best way they know how. They have their morals, they have their integrity. They'll work their job and not try to scam anybody out of anything, and they go to work every day. And if they're sick, naturally, a lot of them still go to work. If it was not for the blue collar workers and even the retirees, there wouldn't be any wealthy people out there. Even if they have old money, because that money has to come from someplace. Them blue collar workers are the ones that are out there working their businesses, their establishments. I mean, think about it. Even the wealthy people, even the old money, they've got to have somebody that takes care of the books for them, takes care of all their affairs, and like I said, they would lose all of their money and all their assets if they didn't have people down below them doing all the hard labor for them, doing all the figuring out, doing all the building, doing all the administrations and stuff like that. They wouldn't be wealthy very long. Because, like I said, the money has to come from someplace. The materials have to come from someplace. The buildings have to come from someplace. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but the blue collared workers and the people that have already retired that's spending money out there for rent if they rent, or they've paid their mortgages, or maybe still paying their mortgages, or whatever. The banks would fold. Everything would fall apart if there was not blue collared workers and the retirees that are spending their money to live. Like, okay, like if I want a TV, I'm retired. I live off the money that I earned when I worked. So if I want a TV and I go buy a TV, well, that helps whoever up the chain of wealthy people and whatnot, the stocks and whatever go up, and then people are able to live off their stocks, the wealthy people. If we didn't do our thing down here, if the blue collared workers didn't do their thing, you people that are out there thinking that you're so rich, and a lot of you people that believe that you're not blue collared, middle class, and you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, you wouldn't have what you have unless you're a blue collar worker and you're working hard and you got that. You wouldn't have and be able to do what you do if it was not for the blue collar workers and the people that are retired. Bottom line. And you can spit and holler and say whatever you want, all you want. But society is held together with the blue collared workers and the retirees. The people that are using their retirement to go on vacations, go to a summer home, go to the different, like Florida or California or wherever, to vacation and spending their money. If all of that stopped, if all the blue collar workers stopped working your factories and your businesses and stuff like that, your world would fall all apart. If they decided to go off grid, buy a piece of land, and work for themselves, now there would be some things that they would have to buy from your companies and stuff to start out with. But once they got all that and got established and were working for themselves, and don't you people understand, that's one of the reasons why whoever out there is trying to stop these blue-collared workers from going out and getting their own little farmland or whatever. Because then they know that once they don't have blue-collar workers anymore, then the elite is going to lose their money. Now, I know AI and the robots are coming out. So think about this too. There's a lot of robots now taking the jobs off of the blue collar workers, and they will have workers that can do the stuff to still continue, they think, to make them rich. But if there's nobody to spend the money to buy the stuff that their robots are producing, then they're not going to get rich. Do they not understand that? So, folks, all you blue collar workers out there, and even us retirees, I think that we need to start thinking a lot more on the order of trying to get even if it's only a half acre, and get you composting toilets, get you uh, like rainwater set up when it rains, that you can have water to shower and stuff like that with. And get yourself set up the best way you can. Don't have to be extravagant, just enough till you learn how to live on that little piece of land. Composting toilet, that means you don't have to have a sewer. Remember that. Collecting rain, you don't have to have a sewer for that, but you can still pipe it into your house and heat it through um, um, on demand water heater. In the summertime, if you wanted to. Now, like when I first went down to Florida, they used to have the hot water tank sitting outside the where you lived, and the sun would beat down on that hot water tank and heat the water up without you even running electricity or propane or anything. And they do have things like that you can lay on top of your roof or alongside of your roof, like a big cylinder that water runs through and that sun keeps it hot. Now, I know that would be a lot easier in the southern states and the western states where it stays hot all the time, but it'll work here too. It'll work here in the cold in the summertime and stuff. And but I would seriously start thinking about, like I said, finding a little piece of land that you could do that on. Composting toilet, rainwater, and solar power for some lights and things to charge your phones and stuff with. So, yeah, the blue collar worker and the retirees are what keeps the elite wealthy and power hungry to run over us. But they can't run over us if we take the initiative to do what I said. Instead of going out and buying a 65-inch screen TV, I don't know. They're fairly cheap anymore. But if we start saving that money real quick, boom, 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 boom. And if a number of us went together, and it wouldn't have to necessarily be considered a little community, but everybody put their money together. Some's going to have more and some's going to have less. And go out there and buy a little piece of land and have your own little sections there and help each other. We're going to have to do that. If we do not want the elite and all the ones that are power hungry. I mean, there's a lot of elite out there, but there's some that aren't power hungry. If we don't want to make them people rich, then we have to stop being blue collar workers. We got to find a way that we can live off of the land as much as we can. Get a little piece of ground, get you some. If you live here in the north, where it gets wintertime and stuff, plant you some apples, plant you some plums, plant you some grapes, and uh, and I know it's like whatever they're doing in the skies, and I can guarantee you this: whatever they're doing in the skies, the chemtrails and whatever. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. I don't, but I think maybe they are. Um, that what's going on from the planes that are up there, and you see those trails. You know what I'm saying. And it's falling down on us, falling down on the crops that the farmers uh, harvest and all of that. It's falling down on us like pollen, making us tired, making us weary. We gotta find a way without fighting and pushing back at them by just taking care of us and making life easier for us instead of working ourselves to death out there in a 9 to 5 job or 3 to 11 job or 12 to 7 job. We got to take care of ourselves and finding ways to break up that system that they have engulfed us in for centuries. Now, the last reset, there's been different resets in humanity throughout history. The last reset was 1728. It's getting ready to reset again. And what's going to help that reset is if we wake up and realize that we are the ones that are making the power hungry people wealthy enough to power over us. Come on, folks. Get our little communities going, our little families. Now, like right now, where I'm at right now, I'm on my daughter's property. And across the road is my son in law's mother and dad, and a few family members over there. So we're all kind of like right here together, being able to help each other out. Now, I got a grandson down over the hill. I got a grandson, his family right there. I have me here, and I have my daughter and some my great grandchildren up there. So we're all right here where we can help one another. And I mean, we each have our own little home. Now they all have a better home than I do. I'm in a camper, and I'm very fortunate to have that. Which it could be warmer in the wintertime for me here, and I would like to be able to set myself up into a better home. That if I could encase this in a little bit outside so it would have more insulation and stuff, so I wouldn't use as much fuel and different things that I do. But for now, it works. So I'm saying to all you people, all you blue collared workers, and some of you people that are even in the middle class realm, stop making them people wealthy and start working on and moving in another direction, that you're not giving all of them your money, that you're not working yourself to death to make them wealthy. Now, I know it's not going to happen overnight, but you can start. So that's just like me. I quit the welfare system. I do not get food stamps anymore. I do not get help with my health insurance, and I don't get any kind of state health care. Everything that I get health wise comes from my insurance, from Medicare. But I do pay for that out of my check, which is $185 a month. So, folks, we all got to, don't let them divide us. Don't let them divide us. Everybody come together in peace and harmony and work. I don't want to use the word fight against them, because no, the universe has a law out there that if you fight against anything, it's it recognizes that you want more of that. We got to move away from fighting against them. We got to move away into the realm of taking care of ourselves, all of our individual families, and if more people, family wise, could come together like that without fighting and fussing, and really truly loving one another, because that's the whole key to it all. Real love, real love, with empathy and compassion. So, but that's yeah. The crutch of the society and of this whole planet is the blue collar workers, the ones that get out there and climb poles, and the ones that get out there and dig ditches, the ones that work in an office on a daily grind to put all the paperwork and stuff together for that goes up to where it shows everybody how much money that the blue collar workers is giving them. The medical field, all the blue collar workers that slave from 9 to 5 to 7 to 11, and through the night, and don't get any sleep during the daytime, and then they've got children to take care of on top of that. Come on, come on, people, start coming together. Start using your creative minds to find ways to not spend your money and make them wealthy. That you're not working yourself to death to get the money that you need, or we think, or they've led us to believe that we need to be healthy and happy. Okay? Well, remember, a merry heart doeth good like medicine, but a broken spirit will dry up your bones, and then you're like flatline. And if you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you're going to be right either way. So let's start believing we can. We can. And especially if we all pull together. We can, you guys. And if you have mobility issues, you still got your mind. You still got your mouth. You still got a little phone in your hand. Or you got a computer, a laptop, tablet. People can still come together that way until we could come together in person with each other. Take advantage of all that stuff, and and find different ways to curb your money spending, and all that. Like I said about eating, we don't have to eat piles and piles of food up on our plate to be healthy. We don't have to eat 3 or 4 times a day to be healthy. Just got to eat the right kind of food, that's all. We don't have to drink bottles and bottles of water either. If our cells are getting the magnesium that we need to draw that water into our cells, and another thing, if you're drinking coffee or if you're drinking tea, you're still getting water. Even any kind of beverage is still giving you water because it takes water to make all that stuff. So remember that. Don't let them bamboozle you into that you need this and you need this and you need that, because you don't. So y'all have a great day. I'm gonna go. Today's my birthday. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I said, I got an awful headache right now. But we'll talk to you later, and you have a great